So they're not just focused on profits. They're committed to making a positive contribution to society. That's right. And they understand that a company's long-term success is intertwined with the well-being of the communities in which it operates.
Now, how do they attract and retain top talent? In such a competitive field, what are they doing to foster a positive and productive work environment? What about their human resources practices?
Well, they recognize that their employees are their most valuable asset.
Yeah.
And they've implemented, a number of initiatives to attract and retain top talent. They offer competitive salaries and benefits. They provide opportunities for professional development, and they foster a culture of innovation and collaboration. So they're investing in their workforce and creating a positive work environment.
Okay. Now, technology is transforming every industry these days. Defense is no exception. So how is BDL leveraging technology to enhance their efficiency, their productivity, their innovation capabilities? Well, they're embracing digital transformation. They're leveraging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics to optimize their operations and to enhance their decision-making processes. So they're using technology to stay ahead of the curve.
Okay. Now, who are the key executives driving BDL's, strategy and operations, and what's their vision for the company's future?
Well, BDL is led by a team of experienced professionals with a deep understanding of the defense industry. Their chairman and managing director, Commodore Matavaro Red, he has a wealth of experience in naval operations and defense management.
Okay. And what about their vision for BDL? What are they aiming for?
Well, their vision is to make BDL a global leader in defense technology and a trusted partner for India's security needs. They're committed to innovation, to excellence, to customer satisfaction, and ultimately they're striving to build a world-class defense company that contributes to both India's economic growth and its strategic autonomy. So some ambitious goals there.
Yeah. Ambitious goals. But it sounds like they've got the leadership and the vision to make it happen.
They do. Their leadership team's experience, their vision, their commitment, it's definitely a strong foundation for BDL's future success.
What are some of their key technological breakthroughs,
Yeah.
Throughout their history, and how have those innovations contributed to their success?
Well, BDL has a long and pretty impressive history of innovation in the defense sector. They've been at the forefront of developing indigenous missile systems for India, which has, significantly reduced the country's reliance on foreign suppliers and enhanced its defense capabilities.
So they're not just a manufacturing company, they're a technology powerhouse.
That's right. Their focus on research and development has allowed them to develop those cutting-edge technologies that meet the ever-evolving needs of the Indian Armed Forces.
Now, what are some of the specific technologies or features that really set BDL's products apart?
Well, one of their key areas of expertise is in missile guidance and control systems. They've developed these advanced algorithms and software that allow their missiles to achieve exceptional accuracy and precision.
No, they're not just building missiles, they're making them smarter and more effective.
Exactly. And this expertise has given them a real competitive edge in the global defense market.
Okay. Now, how do they make sure that their manufacturing processes are efficient, cost-effective, and meet those high standards of quality?
Well, they've implemented, modern manufacturing practices, lean manufacturing principles to optimize their production processes and minimize waste. They're very focused on quality control, and they've invested in state-of-the-art testing facilities to guarantee that their products, meet the stringent requirements of the Indian Armed Forces.
Okay, so they're building quality products efficiently and cost effectively.
They are. Their commitment to continuous improvement in their manufacturing processes has allowed them to enhance their productivity and their competitiveness.
Now, how have BDL's collaborations, with other companies, both, domestically and internationally, how have those contributed to their growth and innovation?
Well, they've recognized the importance of strategic partnerships, and they've actively sought out collaborations with leading companies in both the defense and the technology sectors. These partnerships have allowed them to access new technologies, to share valuable knowledge, and to really expand their market reach.
So these collaborations have been a key driver of their success.
They have. They've really demonstrated the power of collaboration in this complex and constantly evolving, defense industry.
Now, beyond the defense sector, how do their operations contribute to job creation, the stimulation of local industries and overall economic growth? What's their impact on the Indian economy as a whole?
Well, their operations have a significant positive impact on the Indian economy. They employ a large workforce. They source a lot of their materials and components from local suppliers, and they contribute to the development of a highly skilled workforce in the country. So they're not just a defense company. They're a valuable contributor to India's overall economic development.
Right, right. Now, what are the key trends and factors that are likely to, shape the company's future? And what are the potential challenges and opportunities that lie ahead?
Well, the long-term outlook for BDL is actually quite positive, and this is driven by several factors, including the government's focus on the indigenization of defense manufacturing, the ongoing modernization of the Indian Armed Forces and the ever-increasing demand for advanced defense systems in the region.
But they're well positioned for future growth, but obviously there are always challenges.
Of course, they'll need to navigate a number of challenges. Things like maintaining their technological edge, adapting to the constantly evolving geopolitical landscape, and managing their dependence on those government contracts. It's a balancing act.
Yeah. So while the future looks bright, they can't afford to just rest on their laurels.
Exactly. They need to stay focused on innovation. They need to keep investing in their workforce, and they need to make those smart strategic decisions to ensure their long-term success.
Okay. Now, how does BDL stack up against their international competitors? What are the key factors that will determine their success in the global arena?
Well, the global defense market is incredibly competitive. It's dominated by large multinational companies that have, established track records and vast resources. So BDL definitely faces, a challenge in competing with these giants. But they also have, certain advantages.
Okay. So what are their key strengths and weaknesses in the global market? Where do they shine, and where might they struggle?
Well, I think their main strength is in their cost competitiveness and their ability to tailor their products to the specific needs of their customers. They also benefit from the support of, the Indian government, which is actively promoting the export of indigenous defense products.
Okay. And what about weaknesses? Where might they be vulnerable?
Well, I think one of their main weaknesses is their relatively limited experience in the global market, especially compared to some of their more established competitors. They need to build up their brand reputation. They need to establish, those strong relationships with international customers, and they need to, learn how to navigate the complexities of global supply chains and regulations. So it's a bit of a steep learning curve for them.
Yeah, sounds like it. But they've got the potential. If they can play their cards right.
They do. If they can leverage their strengths, address those weaknesses, and make the right strategic decisions, they definitely have the potential to establish, a strong foothold in that global defense market.
Now, how do their profitability and growth rates compare to their international peers? Yeah, are they keeping pace?
Well, their profitability and growth rates have been quite impressive in recent years. They've actually surpassed many of their international competitors.
Oh wow. So they're punching above their weight.
They are, and their strong financial performance has allowed them to invest in R&D, to expand their production capacity, and to pursue, strategic acquisitions.
Okay, so what are the key factors that could impact BDL's success or failure, specifically in the global market?
Well, I think one of the key risks is just the geopolitical uncertainty. Defense contracts are often influenced by political considerations and changes in, government policies or international relations. Those could have a major impact on BDL's ability to secure those contracts abroad.
Yeah, yeah. So they're operating in a pretty volatile environment.
They are.
Yeah.
They need to be, adaptable. They need to be agile to respond to those changes effectively.
Okay. And what about opportunities? What are some of the key growth areas that BDL could capitalize on?
Well, one of the most promising growth areas, I think, is the market for unmanned systems. The demand for UAVs, drones, all those other unmanned platforms, it's increasing rapidly, and this is being driven by their versatility and their cost effectiveness.
Okay. So that's a potential, lucrative market for them to target.
It is, and BDL has been strategically investing in developing their capabilities in
Oh.
this area.
Now, how do BDL's collaborations with foreign governments and defense companies, how do those contribute to India's, broader strategic objectives?
Well, BDL's collaborations with those foreign partners, they play a really vital role in strengthening India's defense capabilities, and they help to enhance its strategic position in the region.
And how does that work? What are the tangible benefits?
Well, these partnerships give BDL access to those advanced technologies. They provide them with valuable experience in those international markets, and they contribute to India's diplomatic and strategic outreach efforts.
So they're not just a company, they're an instrument of India's foreign policy.
In a sense, yeah, their activities have implications that go beyond just business. They contribute to India's strategic goals and its relationships with other countries.
Now, what about the ethical considerations surrounding BDL's, international operations? How do they make sure that their products are used responsibly and that they're complying with international norms and regulations?
Well, they adhere to very strict export control regulations, and they comply with all the applicable international laws and treaties. They very carefully vet potential customers, and they make sure that their products are being used for, legitimate defense purposes, and that they don't, contribute to human rights violations or regional instability.
Okay, so they're taking the necessary steps to kind of mitigate those risks.
They are. They recognize that behaving responsibly is essential for maintaining their reputation and building trust with their international partners.
What about their commitment to corporate social responsibility?
Yeah.
What are they doing to give back to the community and promote those sustainable practices?
Well, they have a strong commitment to corporate social responsibility, and they've implemented a variety of initiatives to support the community and promote sustainable development. They invest in education and healthcare programs. They contribute to disaster relief efforts, and they promote environmental awareness in their operations.
So they're trying to make a positive impact on the world.
They are. They are. They understand that a company's long-term success is closely tied to the well-being of society as a whole.
Right. Now, what are the key trends and challenges that are likely to shape the defense industry in the coming years? And how is BDL preparing to, adapt and thrive in this evolving environment?
Well, the defense industry is in a period of rapid transformation, driven by factors like technological advancements, geopolitical shifts, and the evolving nature of security threats. So it's a very dynamic and challenging time for the industry.
Yeah, no, for sure. And how is BDL preparing?
Well, they're investing heavily in R&D to create, those next generation defense systems that we've talked about. They're exploring new partnerships to gain access to those, cutting edge technologies, and they're adapting their business model to meet the changing needs of their customers.
So they're taking a proactive approach.
They are. They are. They recognize that agility, innovation, and strategic thinking are going to be absolutely crucial for success in the future.
Now, how have the Indian government's policies and initiatives, how have those helped BDL grow and compete in the global defense market?
Well, the Indian government has been a really staunch supporter of BDL's growth and development. They've provided financial assistance, they've created a favorable regulatory environment, and they've actively promoted BDL's products in international markets. So that government support has been instrumental in BDL's success.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. What steps are they taking to minimize their environmental footprint and promote sustainable practices in their operations?
Yeah, they've implemented a number of initiatives to reduce their impact on the environment. They're investing energy efficient technologies. They're promoting waste reduction and recycling, and they're ensuring the responsible disposal of hazardous materials.
Okay, so they're taking it seriously.
They are. They understand that environmental sustainability is not just an ethical imperative, but it's also a business necessity in today's world.
Now, what about the culture at BDL? What are the values and principles that guide their employees' behavior and decision making? How do they foster that culture of excellence and integrity?
Well, they have a strong corporate culture that emphasizes values such as, integrity, accountability, innovation, and customer focus.
How do they make sure those values are actually lived out?
Well, they have a number of programs and initiatives in place to promote ethical conduct, to encourage innovation and to foster a sense of teamwork and collaboration.
So it's not just talk. They're actually
Absolutely.
they're actually putting it into practice.
They are. They are. They understand that a strong corporate culture is essential for attracting and retaining top talent, for driving innovation and for achieving long-term success.
Right. Now, how do BDL's operations contribute to, India's defense preparedness and its ability to deter potential threats?
Well, BDL's role in India's national security is absolutely crucial. They provide the Indian Armed Forces with the advanced weapon systems they need to safeguard the country's borders, to protect its interests, and to respond effectively to any potential threat.
So they're a critical piece of India's defense ecosystem.
They are, and their capabilities in missile technology in particular have really significantly enhanced India's deterrence capabilities.
Now, how is BDL adapting its strategies and technologies to meet the challenges of 21st century warfare?
Well, they're acutely aware of the evolving security landscape, and they're actively adapting their strategies and technologies to meet those new challenges. They're focusing on developing systems that are more agile, more mobile, more network centric to counter emerging threats, things like cyber warfare, terrorism, hybrid
Wow.
warfare. So it's not just about building weapons anymore. It's about building systems that can address those complex and multifaceted security challenges of the modern world.
So we've covered a lot today. We've explored their financial performance, their growth strategy, their products and technologies, their competitive landscape, their corporate governance, and their role in India's defense ecosystem. So what's the overall takeaway? What's the one thing that our listeners should remember about BDL?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that BDL is a company on the rise. They're operating in a sector that's poised for significant growth. They have a solid financial foundation. They're committed to investing in innovation, and they're playing a crucial role in strengthening India's defense capabilities.
So a pretty compelling case for BDL, but of course, no company is without its risks.
Of course not. And as we discussed, they face challenges, things like those supply chain disruptions, competition from those global players, the dependence on those government contracts. But the key is that they're aware of those challenges, and they're actively working to mitigate them.
Right. It's all about, how they respond to those challenges. So here's a final thought to ponder as you continue to explore BDL and the Indian defense market. Given BDL's unique position in this rapidly changing industry, what do you think their biggest challenge and their biggest opportunity will be over the next 5 years? Where do you see them? Where do you see them stumbling, and where do you see them, soaring to new heights?
It's a great question, and one that I'm sure analysts and investors will be debating for for years to come.
Exactly, and that's what makes this deep dive so interesting. It's not just about crunching numbers; it's about understanding the forces that are shaping this company and the entire industry. And if you're eager to learn more, we encourage you to check out the sources that we've linked in the show notes. And who knows, maybe there's another deep dive on the horizon that will spark your curiosity. Until then, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Hardit Dynamics Limited